Uh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of River City 93. It is my pleasure, as always, to talk about the Richmond Kickers with my main man, Matt Myers. How are you doing, sir?
Doing all right. Just another week of talking about art class. So here we go. So all we do is draw.
Yeah. It does have that vibe to it for a while. Like,
Not just us, it's this whole freaking league right now.
hey, I don't know what's more shocking out of. I won't include Madison in it, but who do you think had the worst loss of the weekend? Greenville, Union, or Charlotte?
I mean, they're all on the road at least. So, but I guess you gotta go Greenville because still not Texoma believer. Like, yeah, Naples is at least seemingly legitimate. Alton might be okay, and that's a
Yeah.
West Coast trip, so you can always kind of write off a little bit of West Coast weirdness, there. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. Greenville and Omaha both not doing great at the moment.
No. I mean, like Greenville, I can at least make the excuse. Like the team is older. Like they're still relying on a lot of heavy minutes for a lot of that old guard. Union Omaha, I just don't get it, and that's I'm not complaining about it. They
They're
helped get
playing
us home win.
they're playing a lot of road games because
Yeah.
I don't know why they can't play earlier in the season before baseball's doing everything. So they'll start having their home games on Tuesdays and Thursdays that are just awful for everybody involved on that awful field, and they'll probably come right, once they get that absurd home field advantage that they have. But it's funny in the meantime to talk about last place Union Omaha.
Yeah. Whew. Last place Union Omaha, who helped us get a home win, so that's not too bad. So we're here to talk about the Richmond Kickers 2-2 draw over Westchester Soccer Club, a game in which we found out at the watch party, thanks to Camp and another person, that pretty much the team bus, well, it didn't break down. It got stuck on an incline. And the
Sorry,
team
what?
had yes. So the team bus in Westchester got stuck on the incline at the hotel, I believe it is, and it couldn't
Are they,
move. Like it couldn't go forwards or
are
backwards. It just got stuck.
I thought Westchester, New York was supposed to be a rich hoity-toity area. They're make then dirt roads and it was muddy or something, and they got stuck like that. Like,
I don't know.
what?
I don't know. So apparently the team had to Uber from the stadium, and I'm dying to know if Darren organized the Ubers for everyone, or did he obligate this to like Cap and Evan and be like, y'all are younger, y'all set up the Ubers and make sure everyone gets to the stadium.
Oh, I figured you obviously pass that off to the youngest person available because they're going to be better at it.
I wonder how many Ubers, and I want to know what that bill was. Like how expensive? Because getting a regular Uber in New York is already expensive. So I just wonder, like,
Oh, I mean,
4
however
or 5.
expensive it is, that bill should be going right back to that bus company who, apparently, has a Flintstones caliber bus there, and Fred or Barney or whoever couldn't run up the hill well enough.
Pretty much. I mean, it's just the hilarious to think of.
How
So
does a bus not be able to go up a hill in 2025?
don't know. It was a coach bus. So I don't know if it gets stuck. It was just like the way how the picture looked is like the bus is here and there's like I guess the regular road and then a incline, and the bus just got stuck at that part. Like it couldn't rev up to go upwards. I don't know. It got stuck.
There aren't other roads that you can be able to take. You have to take only one road in New York.
I don't know.
If you told me this was Texoma, okay, I might believe this. If you told me it
Yeah.
was some other, podunk place out there, like Westchester's supposed to be the nice spot. That's why all these guys are going to play there because they get to pretend like they play in New York City.
Also, we gotta talk about this field, man.
Oh,
This
there are a lot we got to talk about with everything not on the field in this game too.
So I mean, let's start with this field. I think we had what field hockey lines, lacrosse, American football, soccer. There was also a playground in the background and a skate park. It
You
was
got
a
men's lacrosse and women's lacrosse. Those are two separate sets of lines.
what? Oh my god. Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm
Didn't know
pretty
that.
sure I counted 7 different colors out
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I think this is a high school, Mount Vernon. So yeah,
I mean,
which it was also funny because now it didn't happen to the Kickers player. It happened to the Westchester players, but twice on 2 occasions they stood out of bounds to receive the ball. It is like you guys play here. Y'all should know what lines are out of bounds.
oh yeah, when that happened like a minute into the game,
Yeah.
I mean, it was funny.
I was like, oh, you don't know these lines either. Okay,
But
that's
I mean,
nice.
I get it because the soccer lines are they left a lot of space, well beyond where the soccer lines end. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, this field could be wider.
yeah. So I don't know. Have you? Uh, has West? I don't know if Westchester said anything about getting their own stadium, and I also assume like it probably might be tough up there in that New York area. But I gotta assume there has to be like a better field situation somewhere. Just not as
Colorful.
yeah.
Yeah, and the big maroon end zones. Uh, I enjoyed how they turned the American football uprights around.
Can't someone at the watch party pointed out as well about how they just switched the field goal post around for it.
Yep. So that was entertaining. You could see the like shot put and discus pit all set up in the background. I didn't totally understand why the track was like multi-tonal. Like, I couldn't figure
No.
out what the idea was behind some of that. Like, okay, maybe it's school colors, but like the pattern didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no, I don't. It was really on the curves too. What? By the way, if you're here waiting to talk about the Westchester game, this is an
This is
American Stadium podcast. Just
this is
not
better.
everyone should know. This is what you really came here for.
Also,
Um,
you should know better by now.
right. This is where we go to. This is the real analysis we get into. Um, so Matt, like lineups came out, and there was obviously some big omissions, and I want to start off with those omissions. So we had no Emmy, no Bill Hart, no Chandler or Dwyer in this lineup. To me, that signifies that either Darren is like, all right, we've had this big road trip where we've gone multiple time zones. Chattanooga, there was issues there with the rain. Then you fly out to Spokane, fly past multiple time zones. Out there on the West Coast, come back home, go up 95, to Westchester. Either A, there's some rotation going on there, or there might be little injuries where he's like, all right, I can afford to rest these guys here. Because I'm assuming if they're healthy, they're in this at least this 18. May not starting, but in the 18.
Yeah, I mean the Bill Hart one, that's been going on for a while. I feel like it's been a few weeks since we've even seen him on the bench. So
Yeah.
assuming something's come up there. I mean, last week Chandler didn't start, only came in like really, really late. So we suspected like there's got to be something up with that, and I think this further cements that idea. And I just can't imagine that he's leaving Emmy out entirely if there's not a knock somewhere, especially with a Jaeger game coming up this week. Like that's the time if you're trying to stretch guys to rest them. You know, I think if they got something to be able to give, even if it's 15 minutes, you bring them along. Because that bench was not the deepest in the attack as a result.
No, it was a little thin. was a little thin. So on the bench, I mean, we did have Hayden Anderson, Gee,
Well,
Griffin Garnett, Melvin made his first ever 18.
he
Jonathan
lives.
Marshall.
He's actually a
You
real
know,
person.
yeah. Because I was really questioning this for the longest. And then Andrew Richmond as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, I thought the lineup was interesting as well. I
yeah.
sort of get it, but I know we were texting back and forth when it came out, trying to figure out what is this like, how is this going to look, and I don't think any of us got it right.
No. Multiple people, like when the lineups came up, and I put it up on Instagram, which, by the way, if you haven't, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms, River City 93. Also, go to our website or ko-fi.com, River City 93. You can help donate to the podcast. But multiple people hit us up and was like, is this a back five? And I even said it because I thought it was a back five because the fact of seeing Beckett and Maxey in there. And I'm like, all right, both of these are left backs. Is he going with a back five? Is it, let's solidify this defense, try to shore this up, and maybe try to counter on the wings with Maxey being a little bit higher up, Beckett be behind him. You know, I- you could have thrown out any possible combination of lineup, and I don't think anyone would have settled on Maxey as a number 10 in this game.
It took me a long time in the game to figure out where he was on the field, which multiple issues with that, right? Yeah, I mean, it ended up being the same shape as normal. You had Chella and Vaughn in the center of defense,
Yeah,
Niels Dak and Maxey as the midfielders. This time Darwin, uh, and Bolduc on the wings, and Joshua Kirkland as the announcer, who we will talk about.
oh,
Uh, you know, like to call him.
yeah. Also, the Richmond Kangaroos, I think he said at one point as well.
No,
It was
we'll come back to him because there's probably a good 5 minutes we can do on
it
that
was
guy.
interesting. But yeah, I mean, this lineup, I think my idea would, or I think Darren was trying to do with his lineup was one, be like, all right, cool. We'll have James Vaughn play as center back. That gives us the build out option, past there. Maxi is a 10. I, I guess Darren is thinking if I have anyone on this team who can potentially unlock a pass and but also be a little bit defensive solidified in this midfield, is probably Maxi. He can help
Yeah,
out
I
of that.
guess so. I feel
It's
like it takes him
hard.
away from what he does best, which is be
Yeah,
able to get up, the touchline and be able to swing a ball in. Like, I understand not wanting to pull Darwin further away from goal if you can help it, but that is kind of a spot we have seen him in at
yeah.
times. And then Maxi could kind of play the wing, up there. We've seen that in various moments. I mean, Darwin scores a goal, so it's hard to say, oh, nope, he should have been further back. Don't play him in that spot.
Well, no, I
Uh,
mean, also like the spot where Darwin scores his goal from is like potentially where he plays. He's like an inside forward, that's center of the spot. Like very, like yeah, he collects the balls on the outside, but I mean, maybe that might have been a good flip of just putting Darwin centrally and then Maxi out on the wing. But I mean, hey, um, so Westchester coming into this game, I don't know really describe what they were trying to do. It didn't. It felt like they were just like, all right, let's kind of carry on from what happened. The last time these two teams played, which if you forgot, was probably one of the crazy games of the season, 4-4 draw. The game kind of picked up in the same manner because, I mean, Richmond was not having any luck, like really retaining the ball or really trying to build out anything. I mean, Westchester was taking their time on it, but Josh Kirkland, and I feel like this is going to be the story for this game, is he could have been the difference maker in this game because he had multiple opportunities to put his
yeah,
name on it.
yeah, I think he's going to get one of those descriptors that sounds either really good or really bad depending on the way you look at it, because I think he did everything right until his final touch of a
Yeah,
ball,
yeah,
right?
that yeah, I
He
agree.
would get in the right
I agree.
spots. He would make the right runs. Uh, the ball would get to him, and mm, mm,
Yeah, it really shows shades of a striker still learning at his craft. Like, granted, like, this is first real year as a pro, right? I'm pretty sure like he's played striker multiple times, but at this level, he's still learning. And you're right, like the final touch it just wasn't there today. We've seen it before, so we know it's there. It just wasn't there in this game. Early on in this game, I think like 6th, 7th minute, he had an early chance. He just pushed it too far wide of the post. I think there was another one at the end of the half where hindsight 2020, if he doesn't head it, he maybe gets a better chance at goal on it.
Yeah, and again, that comes from him, making the right pressing runs, because that first one was, him basically stealing the ball from a defender inside the box, and then he gets, an open look. Yeah, it's at a little bit of an angle, but you probably need to at least force a save out of the keeper on that. It's a good pressuring. I mean, there's the one in the second half where he needs to make a much better pass.
Yes, that pass. He's making the right run, and I think is it Matt making that adjacent run? Okay. And in this moment, I don't know if he's like, I don't know if he's in his head too much. It felt like he was in his head a little bit too, given the other 2 touches that happened before the game. Say if one of them goes in, maybe he's not in his head. I feel like if this one, instead of just making the natural instinct play, I feel like he's trying to make the perfect play, and he's trying to just leave that ball in the match. Whereas, like, if he just makes a much harder pass, like puts more into it, either Matt has to overrun it, but it gets to Matt, or Matt's able to run right into it and it goes straight to goal. It just felt like he was in his head too much in that moment.
Oh, he put it 5 yards behind him.
Yeah. Well,
on a 2-on-1.
Yeah. I don't.
He's not going to enjoy watching that one on video review.
I feel like.
Now, granted, Bolduc did get the ball back, and then also terribly missed a pass 5 seconds later.
Yeah.
Well behind somebody too. So it's not just him.
No, it's not. I do feel like Darren is just going to sit there and film review and be like, "You see this? This ball needs to go forward. If you miss it, okay, that 5 yards behind him."
Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of 2v1 practice going on this week. I have a feeling about that.
Anyway, we got ahead of ourselves there.
Yeah, we did. So recently, given the injuries that we've seen in this team defensively, such as Griffin Garnett, Clyde Chelico, and now Darren has been revolving this back line. And such, we've seen James Vaughn back there at center back. He has a poor pass out of the back, I think, on a poor pass out the back gets undercut by Prince from Westchester. How do you rate him at center back? Like, I get what Darren is doing there, given because of injuries. I don't think Darren wants to play him there, but I think because of injuries, Darren is like, okay, I'd rather play you there because of what that gives you in midfield. But
yeah, I think the idea is that he'll be able to be a distributor there, and that what he lacks in mobility, whoever the other one is, will be able to compensate for. Because I don't think he's a guy you want to kind of get stuck in open spaces.
No,
right? That's probably not going to be the most successful. Although, in fairness, it's been 3 games. I don't think he's really been caught out for speed yet, which is more than I think we probably could say for any of the other center backs we played this year. So maybe I'm totally off base.
Actually. I mean, I feel like he has good positioning, but I think physically, I don't want him in like a one-on-one battle or anything like that. I think he has good positioning. I think he knows.
Yeah, he can be a good hard man in the middle of the field, but it's a different read when you're playing center back. But yeah, the idea is he's able to help with the distribution because we've talked about it, how that's been a little bit of a issue at times. And honestly, I don't even put that goal that much on him because maybe the pass missed, but it got all the way to midfield.
Yeah, someone has to step. And it felt like this is also the inexperience of Beckett. He has to step. Someone just at least has to step to him.
I mean, I think even before Beckett, somebody from the midfield needs to, be able to slide and be accountable. Maybe even Darwin or Kirkland. I
Well,
don't know. I'd have to go back and really look at it a lot more closely, and I don't want to watch that again.
yeah,
But
from what I
it's hard for me to say that it's the left back that's going to be at fault for a guy picking the ball up at midfield and just basically taking a straight line into a 22-yard shot. Like eventually you see Niels start to slide over into the picture,
yeah,
but at that point, like basically what's done is done.
yeah. I mean, well, James had the poor pass out the back that gets undercut. Like I think he underhits it. And Prince is just he catches the open space. But as I remember, it was like as he's driving, there's like 3 kickers players, and they're all just drifting back. And it's not until he's ready to shoot because he just seems like he's just ready just to line up the shot. Like he doesn't look like he's passing off. Someone has to step at that point, whether it's a center back or that midfielder. Someone has to. But yeah, no, it was frustrating on that part. Um, just to give up that early goal because one, like if Josh finishes his chance on the other side, is 1-0 Richmond. This is one of those moments here where it goes up against us and we're down 1-0. And then we end up being down 2-0 because Clyde Chella misjudges another ball in the air off of I don't really know how to even describe this, man. It seemed like a hope ball, but just a bad read on it and able to land at Obigon's, and there's nothing Snetting can do,
No,
with
it's just
Obigon 5 yards out at that point.
just a complete guess, and from that close out, player can just wait for the keeper to move and put it the other direction. Yeah, in the first goal, it's also a really good shot. Like there's always a little bit of me that wonders from that far out could the keeper have done anything, but I mean he hit that hard and picked the corner pretty well. So I don't think either one of them were really on Sneddon
Yeah,
in
no.
that case, and especially the second one. Like yeah, it would have been freak show save of the year if he had somehow gotten to that.
I mean, we've seen a couple of those around the league already, but yeah, no, that definitely would have been a freak show save. He would have got that one.
Yeah. But you got to be honest, at that point, wasn't feeling great about where this game was going.
No, I wasn't. I was not. I was like, oh. And I just kept thinking back to like, damn, like if Josh finished that chance, how did this game go? How did this game change? Because, like you said, like there wasn't most to look like on the bench outside of Darwin. Who else could really unlock this Westchester defense that is leaky, and we've seen that in this game. But like, who else can really unlock this defense and help do that in that fashion? And it didn't give you the best up. And then also is like, the thing that's now really being concerned is the center back play because now it felt well. I really will have to go back and look, but once again, 2 mistakes by the center backs leads to goals in this team, and a position that we were already kind of concerned with, even leaves a little bit more concerned because no one's really taken it by force and made it like, hey, I am the starting center back. I think about like years past where we always knew we had one quality center back there, whether it was Vaughn or Vintner or Jalen. It's hasn't quite been that case yet.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm putting the first one on center back specifically, but your larger point absolutely holds that. Yeah, nobody's really risen to the occasion, been able to say, "Hey, f this. This is my defense. We're getting our stuff together.
Yeah.
Right here." So, uh, I mean, at least they weren't like super direct mistakes. Like, yeah, the second one doesn't look great when Chella doesn't jump high enough, or misreads the ball. But I mean, if you rank the mistakes we've made to give up goals this year, that's probably bottom half.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Like that's like okay, you misjudged it.
Yeah, it's
We've had
embarrassing,
worse.
but
We've had worse. Hopefully, once again, hopefully we can clean those up. But we were able to pull one back. And I think this goal was really impressive because it starts with Darwin. Like he collects the ball centrally and he plays out a long ball after Fitch. At the watch party, I yelled out touchdown because he caught it in the red zone. But then Fitch crosses across the box. Westchester makes a poor clearance on it, and the guy who starts to play finishes the play because Darwin scores it. And I think the announcer, because we can joke on him all night, made when Westchester scored, he said Juan Obregon was like one of the top American goal scorers or something like that. Well, 5 goals, and it's like, well, Darwin just shut him up because now he has 6, and he's in the top half of goal scoring in his leagues once again. I mean, Darwin's been impressive, man. Just the way how he plays and able to finish his plays and whatnot, been very impressive.
Yeah, this one was. I like to classify these more like kind of the dirty, scrappy goals, which I actually like.
Yeah,
To be able to see because I mean, yeah, like the typical Darwin goal where he's dribbling and is able to cut in and let loose a rocket. And aesthetically, they're much nicer. But I think successful teams tend to get more of these kind of grimy goals because this one was across that Westchester honestly should have cleared and they don't clear it well enough and Darwin just picks up right at the penalty spot and treats it like a penalty and just fires it right into the corner. Nothing anybody can do about it. And being able to be in those right spots, to be able to kind of pick up the scraps like that, that's how you can go from being a good forward to an all league level forward pretty well. And I don't want to call it stat padding because I don't think that's the right term for it, but you can go from scoring 70 or up to 12 or 13 just by making sure in the right place at the right time. Like Emmy did that for years.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's really like the danger zone. Like that area right between the 6-yard line and the 18-yard line. Like if you could get in there and get an open chance, like most likely if you can put it on frame, you got a good chance of finishing it. And Darwin showed that over and over again.
And it comes down to positional awareness too, like being able to read the play, see where it's where the ball is going before it gets there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so it was good to pull it back into when it gave you some hope going into the second half. And real quick before we go into the second half, if you've been following, you should know that the USLPA is right now doing a solidarity campaign. So pretty much what they're trying to do is they're selling T-shirts so you can support your local footballer. So as it says here, $5 from every purchase goes directly to supporting USLPA members through continuing education. So if you have not been following, if you haven't seen it, a lot of soccer players kind of put their education on hold. Some will also work in their degrees as well. So I forgot the name of the university they're in partnership with, but Bellevue, yeah. So I mean, this is a way how you can go support them in that favor. But the USL Player Association is proud to launch the Support Your Local Football Solidarity campaign, a proud to show unity from professional players across every league, every team in the USL, as one of the first labor unions in pro sports to fully integrate men and women's players. So that's USLC, League One, and the Super League under one banner. Our strength is in solidarity. The local number 7211 on our shirts isn't just a number, it's a symbol of collective power as a proud CW affiliate fighting to advance the game on and off the field. So if you want to go support them, go check them out on Instagram, USLPA. You'll even see Kickers players wear the shirts. And if you want to go get one, you can go to USLPA on Instagram and support them there as well. So back to the second half. Griffin Garnett, who I feel like the last time we really seen him was the FC Naples game. Am I correct?
Has it been that long? I mean, you might be right, but
It feels like it. But yeah, he comes in the second half of this game. And we got to see him. Got to see him play. They took Maxi out of the 10 spot. They felt like that experiment didn't work the way I wanted to. But they moved James up to midfield. And what I'm gonna say is not gonna be controversial, but Matt, I feel as if the switch worked for Darren. Putting Griffin Garnett back there in the second half, and then also moving James with the midfield because I felt like now, like it was able one is it pushes Nails up to a more central spot, so he's able to connect with Darwin further up the field instead of more in the CDM spot. But then also it gives a little bit more cover to the back four with having James and Dak right there in front of him, and them able to kind of be a buffer more
Mhm.
so. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a groundbreaking opinion to have right there, like you said. It gets guys, I think, into a little bit more of a natural, position. Okay, not guys, James, into more of a natural, position. I think so. Uh, yeah, don't mind the move. I looked it up. He hadn't played since the Louisville game, so
Okay. So
uh,
yeah.
yeah, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So good to see him back. We can use all the healthy bodies we can get, right now. Yeah, and second half. I mean, I don't know if it's directly because of the change, but second half started pretty well.
It did. It started off very well. And I mean, just looking at the stats of it, Richmond did not possess the ball much this game. It was very much, I mean, even with the way how the game ended, it felt like Darren was at some point conceded and was like, okay, we got to draw. We'll talk about the goal. But like it felt like the thought was, let's get back, let's tie this game up. And if there's an opportunity for us to attack, take it. If not, make sure as hell we protect our goal and do not let in a third one because getting one back is hard enough. Getting two back is almost impossible at that juncture where it felt like, you know. But yeah, once again, Darwin, the starman again, made a beautiful run, lays it off to Beckett Howell, and Beckett got his first ever assist and gives a nice low driven cross to Matty B. And I was joking with the Red Army that they need a charge camp once again for that transfer fee. Like every time Matty does something, goal or assist, needs to be like a extra $10 on the transfer fee.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Yeah, this wasn't any kind of a special play. I mean, this is simple training type of runs that
Mm-hmm.
you were executing. Big up to Westchester for just not tracking Bolduc running at all, and
No.
pretty easy finish for him. Again, another one that was right around the penalty spot. All he had to really do was make good contact, with it and put it on frame, and he did. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, his first goal back, and second round through with the kickers. So hopefully that more of those to come, and yeah, it's a really good way to be able to build some momentum, or or at least ease some nerves going into that second half.
Yeah. So I mean, a good strong goal there. Main things too. Um, before I move into the next point, Beckett Howe. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very happy for him to get his first ever career assist. We've seen him. I'm trying to think. Did he start in Spokane? Yeah, he did. We've seen him start the last 3 games at left back. How would you rate his performance so far? He played against Chattanooga, played at Spokane, played at Westchester.
Solid. I mean, like I said last week, I'm not afraid of having him out there. He's I know he just got an assist, but I still think he's, much more of a reliable defense first, kind of guy. He's not going to be afraid to, throw his body around and, uh, kind of get into it, with guys. So maybe he's learning something from Maxi of having a little bit of the, left back crazy, in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all things being equal, I'd
Mhm.
probably still, rather Maxi there just for the dynamic of creating going forward, but if Beckett's called upon, it's not going to be like a, ooh, all right, let's go into these games. Okay. It's not
Yeah.
that situation.
There was a couple of guys in the past few roster where we're like, oh no, something has gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, I feel good with him there. I mean, he's still very green at certain things. And I think that just comes with more minutes played. But if I see him in a lineup, I know that okay, it's going to be a solid defensive performance. If I get something attacking, it's an added benefit, but I don't think that's the first thing. But yeah, I mean, it's good to see that, it was one point in the field. I think our back four had 3 19-year-olds in it. James Standard in goal, Griffin Garnett, and Beckett Howell. So yeah. Nice little nod there. 70th minute, it was a little confusing. Because Westchester's Bowman got a yellow card and everyone swore up and down it was a second yellow. Just comes to find out that Foot Mob and Opta didn't update it. So it was McGlynn who got the yellow card in the first half, and then Bowman did just.
Which I don't understand how anybody doing the stats or anything got that wrong in the first place, because it was incredibly obvious to me that McGlynn was the one who made the bad tackle in the first half.
Yeah. Yeah, so everyone thought it was a second yellow. It was very confusing, and then we realized, like, oh no, Foot Mob and Opta just whoever did Foot Mob at the game didn't do it right. And also, come to find this out, Westchester got fined 11 times for their first game because of multiple things they didn't have. One of those is a red hat. And if you're not familiar with who Red Hat is the person who communicates. He's like the mediator between the refs and the broadcast staff about like who gets fouled or who got the yellow card, red card, who scored the goal assist, whatever, all that stuff. So yeah, I think they had one in this game, but still, it was very confusing to figure out what happened there. But I think the last talking point really is Melvin got some minutes, didn't do much, but I mean, we didn't need him to. We just need him to run and give Josh Kirkland a break there. But yeah, it's good to see that he is an actual human being that can play soccer. Because I was getting concerned there for a second. Also, given he was our first signing this offseason. So, yeah.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah. Ooh, my bad. Matt, one last thing before we close out this game. Darren only made, from my understanding, if I'm looking at this right, 2 substitutions. Do you read anything into that?
Probably not really. I mean, we said right at the very beginning, all right, down a few notable names.
Mm-hmm.
So that obviously takes away some of the options of who might go in. A little surprised Hayden didn't get any run somewhere on the field, because he has shown to be somebody who you can put in at a lot of different spots, and even just as an energy guy, be able to get in there and give Bolduc or Darwin, or take one of the midfielders and slide Darwin back a little bit, or a lot of different options. And he could have done something there.
Yeah.
I wonder if it might be a little telling that Kanagwa goes from starting last game to DNP, all immediately.
Yeah.
Right here. So
yeah, maybe. Yeah, I can see that. Also, Hayden Anderson must have been breaking case of emergency, and Darren didn't feel the need to break.
He might be banged up too, and he was well enough to travel.
Yeah.
But that was about it.
Well enough to be there and be like, I'm here. I'm a warm body. I'm a warm body. So then, yeah. Right.
So
there's a little feistiness also in this game where I think in the second half, Nils got a rough tackle out of bounds, and you see Dak like square with the guy go like this, like, I'm going to find you. I was like, oh, there's going to be a 2 for the tackle. And then, Dak unfortunately got his head dribble off the field twice, like very bad tackles.
Westchester's not afraid to play physical, especially their Dutch guys. They will throw their body into a challenge, whether the ball is there or not.
Yeah, they will go. They will commit. They will commit.
Yeah, so I would not be surprised if they're a type of team that might get some experience playing with 10 over the course of the year.
I wouldn't put it past them. I would not put it past them there. So game ends 2-2 there. We see the kickers, based on other results around the league, finish off in 5th place. This past week, I mean, not this past week, on Saturday, we asked a couple of fans, rate this road trip. After every game, I give my thoughts on what I think about the performance. I put it at a D minus. I mean, a D plus C minus. I think my biggest ick is if starting with the negatives, the drop points in Spokane, drop points here in Westchester. I think really just
Chattanooga.
Chattanooga, I'm still putting asterisk behind it just because of the field, like the
Mhm.
conditions
I don't
there.
disagree. I was just saying
Yeah,
that's the other one.
yeah, yeah. So the drop points there, the lack of offensive threat against Spokane was really discouraging to see, and the injuries really hampered this team. I think Darren tried his best to try to manage that as best as he could. But I think on the positives of it, Beckett Howell showed that he's a capable left back, so you feel a little bit more secure in that spot. Darwin definitely stepped up to the spot in this game as well, and as there. When I asked most of the fans, so somebody put it an A. I need to hear that reasoning. How you put this road trip as an A? I don't know if you were trolling there or not, but most fans had it as a C. Matt, where do you rate this road trip at for the Kickers?
Yeah, I think I'm probably around that C level as well. Like there, none of the games were necessarily outright bad. I mean, Spokane was a little rough,
Mm-hmm.
given the 11v10 state of it most of the time, but it wasn't like they got run off the field
Yeah,
or anything. But yeah, 2 points from 9, not ideal. I mean, the good news is you also took points off the table for Chattanooga and for Westchester, who realistically are going to be much more in the conversation with us in the table than Spokane will. So if you had to drop one of them, Spokane's the game to drop
yeah,
out of that. But yeah, 3 games where never even had a lead, at any point. Uh, not two shutouts in there, not the most inspiring. So yeah, hard for me to give it much higher than a C.
yeah. So with this road trip, this is the Kickers' longest road trip. Every other road trip, I think, are back to back, like 2 games away on a road. But you know, so no 3-game road trips in there no more. And this team doesn't have to go out to the West Coast again until the second to last weekend of the season, October 17th. And only 2 more times that we have to cross the Mississippi. That's Fort Madison and Union Omaha, but those are like June and August, I think.
Pretty sure Texoma would be other side too, but
Oh yeah. No. Well, when we play, when we go, Texoma was October 11th. My fault. So you're right. So yeah, those two. We go out to Texoma and AV Alta back to back, October 11th to 17th. So yeah. So yeah. I mean, now looking ahead, you got NCFC Jägermeister game. Kickers are sitting on 0 points in this matchup. Um, Going into this matchup, um, I came to the prevailing theory of that by the time you play your second game, if you don't have any points, just go ahead and shelve it. You're going to need at least 6, it feels like, or to be even in consideration, given how the table is based on. And given that the injuries that the Kickers got, I'm cool if you're not 100% healthy. I'm not playing you. Like
yep.
I'm 100% cool with
Yeah, if you're even caught glancing at an ice pack after
that.
training this week, no, enjoy this one from the stands. Like
Yeah,
we'll call up some other academy kids and U20s.
yeah.
Y'all boys want to run out? Cool. Not really a question. Show up on Saturday.
There you go, sir. There you go. So let's kind of build on our lineup. In goal, who do you have, Pablo or Snen?
I mean, it seems like Pablo's going to be the cup keeper
Mm,
this year. So yeah, he'll get thrown to the wolves. Of our B/C/ unsigned team.
yeah. I'm cool with Pablo getting the start here. I thought there was a chance that Pablo might get the start in against Westchester, but James got the start here. Real quick on Stanton, do you feel like he bounced back in this game? I mean, obviously 2 goals were scored, but do you feel like he bounced back in this game or gave a stronger performance?
I mean, he didn't make any big mistakes, so that's a
Mhm.
plus. Like, I don't think the game really presented too many opportunities for him to do a whole lot, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
But sometimes, do no harm is, a passing grade. So
Yeah. And he did seem to have good command in this box or any. I feel like the note out there on Stanton is now is like, oh, put crosses up in the air and see if he could go for him or not. He did
yeah.
well on those.
I will say the one thing that I haven't watched him closely enough, when this happens to know if it's really happening or not. But like after that first goal, I
Mhm.
kind of wish that he, been one of those keepers that just got out there and just absolutely laid into the midfield and the defense and shoot him out, in front of everybody.
That's the sign of a maturing man. That's when we know is maturing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That could be a nice addition, to his game at some point. Of like, does he have that in him to be, the vocal, leader in the back, like most good goalkeepers are.
Yeah. So moving on from goal, we would go into the back four defense. I'm cool with seeing Beckett Howell.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. The center backs.
Take your pick.
So I'm thinking about it in this way. I know we just said if you're hurt, you're not playing, but in terms of getting them up into game minutes, I feel like it's probably going to be Clyde and Griffin Garnett. I feel like that's probably our strongest center back pairing. And
Yeah, I was
you
thinking
know,
maybe Gee, but
see, and the reason why I'm not going Gee is because I think if Clyde and Griffin are healthy, we got to get them as many minutes as we can to kind of solidify them and get them, back in a good form. So I
yeah,
can see that
I mean,
there.
I'm fine with that. Like I
Yeah,
said, just pick whichever combination you want.
yeah. Right back, if he ain't hurt, it's going to be Simon Fitz. I don't think.
Well, you're probably right. I feel like I'd give you Brendan Dobzeniak, or however you say his
Yeah,
last name, give him a run out. Here, see, is he viable?
give him like
Guy,
the last 5-10 minutes. If it's close, do you pull it or do you keep him in there?
it's just no, it's just start. Start him like you said. We're not advancing out of the group in this competition. We already know this. So trial by fire right here. Like really get a good you know 75 minutes or so of real game footage of him against professional competition.
Yeah,
See like, all right, is this a guy that we can throw in there if we need to at a certain point in the game?
yeah. Would be interesting to see. Yeah, maybe so. Zibia. I'm not holding my breath on it because
I'm not either, but
yeah. If he not hurt, I don't think Darren's ever gonna pull that card. I don't think Simon would let you. Like Simon seems like one of those people where it's like Simon would have to be forced to retire. He's like, oh no, I can still go. It's like Simon, I need you to sit down and relax. He's the person on vacation that still feel like he has to work.
yeah, well, we can test that out. So
um.
enjoy
Okay.
the beach this week.
Right. All right. Midfield.
I mean, I'm going to pick like all reserves for all these positions if we're being real here.
Yeah.
Like Neil does not need to play in this game. Dak does not need to play in this game. Like one of them might have to just for numbers.
I think
Sake.
Dak will. I think Dak will.
Yeah, like
Maybe
Kanawha getting.
James and Kanagwa. I'll go those three.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what this Gomez kid actually has.
I think it still might be too early for him. I think it might be a case of like Melvin, like
If it's too early for him, why are you bringing him in for this right now?
So when I talked to Camp about it, the reason why it's not a like a team contract and it's an academy contract because it's a kind of like prove yourself deal because he's coming off of 2 ACL tears.
Yeah,
20
what
years
better way to
old.
prove yourself than actually see what you got?
All right. I mean,
Look, if you're gonna punt,
Hey.
you punt.
You know what? Fine, whatever. We'll go Gomez in there. That would be see what you got, kid. And I know you just got introduced to the city. Go out here and play. Oh, I don't think he had a jersey number yet.
Yeah, he's like 43 or something because he's already made the bench once.
Okay. See,
He,
yeah.
yeah, he got the pleasure of that Chattanooga trip.
Ah, that's right. That's right. Okay. So yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Get some minutes here and see how he does. Yeah, I'm going Dak Vaughn, Kanagwa. I can see that. Breast Niels.
I mean, there's no attack coming out of that group, but okay.
No. Oh no. What is that? 3 CDMs? just pure. And we just hold it the block. That's it. That's all we doing. Wingers. I'll go Hayden Anderson and I'm trying to think. Do we have anyone on the left side? Maybe Matt. You can put Matt out there.
I figured Hayden was going to be the left-sided guy.
Yeah, I originally had Hayden as the right, and then I was thinking like, all right, who's the left in this? And then I was like, okay, so it's definitely probably going to be Hayden and Matt. Do you think he plays Darwin? Maybe like 60 minutes.
Probably. I'd be fine with him not.
No,
but I think probably.
Here. Yeah, same here. And then starting a striker, I feel like it's probably going to be Kirkland.
You're probably right.
Yeah, probably Kirkland.
I mean, I'd like to see like every time I talk to him, Darren keeps hyping up Saren Tacos.
Yeah, it would be cool.
I have a feeling it's just hype and not reality right now, but
see him on the bench there. So yeah, I mean, like looking at this group, I mean,
do we know is Landon like hurt?
From what I've heard, he's coming back. He had a knock and he's working his way back from it. So I don't know if he's healthy enough to.
So, I mean, this would be a game for him.
Yeah,
if he's able to.
Yeah, if he's able to give you
45,
60, yeah, 25. See him out there. Same thing with like Bill Hart. If Bill Hart, Chandler, Emmys is,
I'm not messing with Chandler or Emmy at all.
Yeah, okay. So we'll take them out. If Bill Hart is on that cusp of getting back healthy and he needs minutes, like 20, 25, well, 20 to 15, no more. Like, I just need to see proof of concept. That's it.
Sure.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a defense. I mean, knowing how North Carolina is, they have people who we do not like that bring us personal pain, such as Rafa Mintigan, Olex Anderson, a few others on there. A couple of League One guys that we've seen before.
They've got Evan Conway still there.
Yeah. So like Dolabella, who played at U Omaha last year, Cervania, Maldonado, Mintigan. Yeah. They seem to play in a 3-4-3. And they're sitting 5th right now in the East. I don't think this is going to be like the League One matchups from before, where it was like Richmond had opportunities to win and just didn't capitalize on them. They end up losing to North Carolina is kind of like the craziest way. But once again, if we can get it to pins, I take it as a win.
Sure.
Yeah, I take it as a win.
Yeah, this is when you go to the stadium for the vibes.
Yeah. Like, do not email the chat. I mean, email the podcast, ripping this team apart. Like, we know what the Jaeger Cup is. We understand what it is.
Like, Darren even all but admitted it last time we talked to him on here.
100%. 100%.
And that was not the party line, at least last year.
My bad. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, you got your roughest game out the way with Louisville City. This is probably the next roughest game. And then after that, you got 2 games that possibly are even. You got Charlotte, who we play in League One. They're one of the better League One teams, but we've had a close game against them. And then
I would still understand if Darren goes for it because if you do pull this one off, like you said, you got Lexington and Charlotte, coming up, and you would maybe see a path if something weird happens and Louisville and Loudoun both drop a game somewhere
Yeah.
along the way. So it's not impossible. But yeah, the injury status of our guys right now is really what's holding me back.
Yeah. And I mean, also, we've seen this team where, when this team's fully healthy, we've seen this team go, 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 go. And it looks impressive. It looks good. Now the injuries are starting to creep up. Is like, okay, what do we want to prioritize more? Short term, possibly being a USL championship team at home in a, is it fair to call this a rivalry? I mean, yeah.
It should be, but I don't think it ever really was.
Yeah. It's our closest team. Well, outside of Loudoun, next closest team to us. Short term, back to what I'm saying, like short term, pick up a win here. You might be risking another injury or another setback versus long term being quote unquote competitive in this game, maybe a little bit more defensive. But on the flip side of that, you're able to get guys rest. My bad. Able to get guys rest, able to have them sit down and also see what roster spots 18 to 24 can offer to this team going forward. So yeah, that's the way I look at it. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Outside of that, I think
we only got one thing left to talk about right now, and that it is time to actually pile on and bury that announcer.
it was
what else would we as fans of the Kickers of Richmond?
The Kickers of oh my god!
Oh my god, that guy went to that well how many different times?
A lot, and also the hyping up every goal as if it's like the Golasso of the year. It's like Obregon had a tap in, and he's like, "It's one of the best goals you're ever going to see." It's like, okay, I understand you have to sell the product, but let's not lie here, okay?
Yeah, like he just sounded like out of central casting for like radio, like sports update announcer.
Yeah.
Like the guy who comes in and does like the 2-minute stingers of what all the scores were from overnight and everything. That kind of bravado in there. This one's not new to him, but very clearly he was working off the talking points from Darren about all this great youth development, and I don't know where I got 11 teenagers from. That
no.
And how the team just produces player after player. I'm like, I mean, that's the goal. We're not there yet. Haven't actually prove a concept.
Don't get too comfortable with your parents' house.
Yeah,
there's a one-way ticket coming in the off season, buddy.
You got your real ID, your passport?
Yeah, him and Snedden. Make sure. I need to make sure come November, Thanksgiving weekend, whatever your plans is, cancel them. You going overseas, baby. There's a check already with your name on it.
But in the pantheon of bad USL announcers, that guy was up there because plenty of times too where it's like, oh, it was goes out for a throw, and nah, bro, that was offside.
Yeah,
it's like so it's like, nope, that was a foul.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty obvious that was a foul.
Yeah, so yeah, these some of these League One announcers, you can definitely see that they're learning. Real quick before we get out of here, two quick things. Wednesday, Richmond Ivy. I'm pretty sure Vinecast has already talked about it, but season ticket holders, there is a team event, exhibition match on Wednesday, and then a live Q&A with head coach Owusu, so make sure you check out for that. And then June 1st, the next day after the Kickers game, is the first U20 game. I forgot who they play, but the game is at 6 on Sunday. So I'm going to go check it out and see how the next version, Baby Ruse 3.0? Yeah, this is Baby Ruse 3. So see how they are in development out there and everything like that. So hopefully, but it's time to record next week. I have an update for you because I will just be coming back from the game. But Matt, anything else from you, my good man, before we wrap up?
No.
Good. Because much like this road trip, we're putting this behind us because for the next 2 weeks, the Kickers are back home and we can enjoy it. We can enjoy it. So with that being said, as always, folks, we just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day for listening to our podcast, because without you, we couldn't do this. We wouldn't want to do this. So get active with us. Any questions, comments, anything like that, make sure you email the show at 93rivercity@gmail.com. Once again, that's 93rivercity@gmail.com. Or you can go to the show's website at rivercity93.com. Follow us on all social media platforms. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And with that being said, we will holler at you guys next time, where we will be talking about a Kickers competent PK shootout. Hopefully so. So be easy, be safe, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.